Ladies and gentlemen, hello flight simmers. Good evening from Johannesburg airport, located in South Africa. And today we are on a whopper of a flight. We are taking this beautiful Delta A350-900 with the special LA28 livery, which is the special livery for the Olympics coming up in LA in 2028. Yeah, we're gonna take this aircraft all the way across the Atlantic Ocean to home base Atlanta, and yeah, this is a seriously long flight. In fact, flight time today, according to SimBrief, exactly 16 hours. So that is honestly very long. It is not the longest of all routes out there. I think there's still the one out between Singapore and New York, and that's in terms of flight time quite a bit longer even. But we are doing this flight for a special reason, because after sort of getting used to the A350 a bit and having now some shorter flights as well, I was now specifically looking out for a flight which sort of brings the A350 close to its limitations.
Springbok 359
And yeah, by the way, we are on VETSIM, as you can hear in the background, so also very cool to catch ATC, ATC out of Johannesburg, but we will get there in a second. So yeah, we are departing Johannesburg in a heavy aircraft, and that is special because Johannesburg is very high, right? So the airport elevation, don't want to say something wrong now, is 5,558 feet. So that's quite high, and therefore the air is a bit thinner. Also, it tends to be quite warm here in Johannesburg, although this flight departs in the evening and then maybe it has cooled down a little bit. So honestly, I don't know how the departure calculations will look like. I believe we will be close to our limitations, but we will see when we do the takeoff calculation, of course. In the meantime, before we look on the flight plan and some charts, I just want to enjoy this beautiful night view here on this Delta A350. Nice scenery as well. This iniBuilds scenery for Johannesburg. Really nice, and yeah, can't wait to do it. It's not very busy. I can hear there's some traffic on the network, but he's the center controller, so they might be anywhere. But yeah, can't wait to get this A350 airborne, guys. And yeah, now before we jump into the flight deck, let's actually look at a few things. So pulling up the flight plan, and look at this whopping 16 hours, spot on. And interestingly, what I've done, so I started filing the flight plan in SimBrief and stuff, and then I actually had a couple of iterations where we exceeded max takeoff weight because fuel, there was a lack of fuel of like a few pounds, which we couldn't load. And then I tried around a little bit. I decreased cost index to 80, and then I also decreased passengers to 259, which is not a whole lot. So it seems like Delta has actually a few different configs out there for the A350, but in any case, this is not fully booked, and I wonder if this is true. Typically, I would be surprised seeing an airline operate an aircraft on a route which they cannot completely fill in order to meet aircraft limitations. But you know, there might always be slight differences between what we have in SimBrief and then the actual aircraft which is operated by the airline. They might have a little bit different weights and stuff like this. So I believe Delta is able to operate a fully loaded A350 on this route. Everything else would surprise me. But yeah, so even now on an A350 we only start out flight level 340, and that's a shocker almost, because most of the flights I've done so far were like straight up to flight level 380 or something. And look at this, we are in fact pretty close to the max takeoff weight. And yeah, takeoff fuel on board for 18 hours and 1 minute. Isn't that crazy? So we can stay airborne for 18 hours. Holy guacamole. Right, other than that, I don't think there's yeah, that's a lot of waypoints. Maybe just for the arrival weather into Atlanta. I haven't checked that at all. Wait, when do we get there? So now it's 24th in the evening. So we will get there 25th, sort of early evening Zulu time. So what's that? 2.5, that's still earlier. 2.5.17 for my thunderstorm, slight rain. Okay, so it might get, might have a few thunderstorms even when we get there. Let's see. Showers and rain, thunderstorms and rain. So not the best weather in Atlanta apparently. But here for the departure, wind 306 cavalcade 13 degrees. Okay, so it's not warm at all. I've been wrong on that. I was expecting much higher temperatures now, but apparently it is not. Yeah, this will definitely help a little bit with the takeoff calculation. Right, then also we're gonna take all the time we need here, guys, today. So that's gonna be a long video, most likely. So we are sitting here at the international gates, of course. Wind 300, so I believe we'll depart runway 30 left. What I've seen on flight radar is actually that they enter via Juliet, but let's see. Since ATC is online, we will get it from ATC anyway. And then we will fly the Vasur 3 Alpha departure without any constraints. Just out to Vasur as it seems. And then it's a brutally long flight. Let's see, what's like the most interesting stuff we can pull up here. Convective cloud top level, yeah, that's some might be interesting. So as usual, through the tropical conversion zone there might be something up there. And then yeah, over in the States as well, so there might be some thunderstorms around.
Right, heading 225, descend to 4000.
And then just checking for the jet streams. Up at flight level 39er, so yeah, we're pretty much avoiding any jet streams towards the end there a little bit, but not much. Alright, so that's just a few things to check. I think real pilots on that kind of flight check a lot more, but for our purpose here it's alright as it is. And then guys, let's get to it. Right, so here we are in the beautiful flight deck. Aircraft is being loaded. We're on external power. I've aligned the IRSs before, so that's looking good. Maybe first things first, we will actually go in here and start entering a few things. So Eric is looking fine. We are running on the 24th of May today, so that's good. Flight plan, sorry, inert. That's where we need to go. Flight plan requests.
Express 126, turn right heading 270 for base.
Company Delta 201. Costa next 80, yeah, that looks good. Waiting for an insertion, I've done that. Alright, fuel and load, are we still loading? So I think maybe while ATC is online, we never know when they go offline, maybe we will use that chance and just get the clearance straight away. And then we have that in our books already. South Africa Control, very good evening from Delta 201 at stand Echo 1 in Johannesburg. Information Echo requesting clearance to Atlanta.
Delta 201 Control, very good evening to you, sir. You're cleared Johannesburg, Atlanta, flight level 340 on request, start of departure. Runway 03 left, comply with base 3 Alpha SID. Radar frequency 128.325, squawk 7363.
Delta 201 clear to Atlanta, runway 03 left, Vasur 3 Alpha departure, and squawk 7363, Delta 201.
Delta 201, readback is correct, report ready.
Alright guys, there we have it. First of all, going to the squawk, which is always interesting in this aircraft. 7363, 7363. Like this. FMS1. Now let's see. Flight plan. Departure. Runway 03 left. Vaso.
Express 126.
3 Alpha.
Runway 01, surface
Transition
136,
no available.
at 6 knots, clear to land.
And then for Atlanta, we will just dial something generic. There's 27 left, I think it is. It's 27 left. Let's pseudo 27 left, and then we have the star, which should be the sit. Sit is not available. Why is that? Oh, because we are expecting actually 08. So let's go 09 right. 09 right. There's the sit 2. Let's dial transition later on. Okay. So we have this one in there. Right. Back to init. Now fuel and load. We have load sheet. Are we fully loaded? Simbrief import. Oh yeah, look at this. Almost full in terms of fuel. Set fuel. Loading fuel completed. So fuel weight as well, I hope. Right, so that's 368.1. $29.5. Block fuel 247.8. Passenger number 259. And then alternate, just to make it very correct. What do we have? 7.3. Right. So we got this one in. Perfect. So we haven't talked at all about the aircraft right now. It's been a while since I last had the A350 on my channel. It has received so many updates, and I'm extremely happy to see that, honestly. I love when aircrafts get some love after release, and the A350, they have added so many features in here which I don't even know, to be honest. So this flight's also going to be interesting for us to check out all these new things and additions and all this kind of stuff. Now for the QNH 1030. So now, moment of truth, kind of. Takeoff performance. Sync. FMS 03 left, sync. Is it doing something? That's strange. It worked last time I tried it. So we have 300 at 5. Temperature was 13. QNH in inches. I don't have it in inches. Hectopascal 1030. Try anti-ice off. Takeoff weight. Still can't believe we cannot sink that in. We have a gross weight of 61.59.
Controls logging off. You can now monitor 1 to 2 decimal 8. Bye bye.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate, so we're back to Unicom. But at least we got the clearance in. 1228. 6159. Config 1 plus F on. Flex. Let's see, moment of truth. Wow, are you kidding me? Max takeoff weight for the Performance 596, so why is that? That makes no sense. We're not gonna burn that much fuel once we get to the runway. And then again, it has a lot of D-rate. And very low speeds as well, so I don't know. Can that be correct, guys? I am not sure. Let's do the following. I will run the SimBrief calculator alongside, just to see. Yeah, look at this difference. Let me pull this up alongside. Look at this huge difference. So on the SimBrief calculation, we have also flap setting 1 flex, temperature 26, and look at the speeds: 154, 161, 168. Max weight 623. That makes a lot more sense. Like a lot more sense. So that is pretty frustrating that apparently the EFB calculation is way off here. I mean, we can try the performance request. Thing that's strange here, it's in tons, while everything else seems to be in pounds. I mean, we can try. $300 at 5. 1030. Flex. Flaps 1. Yeah, that's the same as we have in the EFB, right? That can't be right. That can't be right. Okay, so in that case, we will use the SimBrief data, I believe. So we have V1 of 154. VR 161. Ooh, sorry. 161. V2 168. Flex temperature 26. Trimmable horizontal stabilizer. I'm actually gonna take this one. 30.4. Packs on, NDS off. So 6560, 6560, that's correct. That's an NADP2 which they use here, so that looks good. And yeah, though. So that's that. Initial altitude 8,000. Let's go constraints. Right. So have we done everything? No, winds we have not done, have we? Okay, so that's entered. All right. So now we have completed everything which we need to complete. Okay, so let's go seat belts and smoking mobile like this. Then we will fire up the APU. And that's pretty frustrating to see the calculations way off here. I hate to see it, honestly. But it's also strange that it doesn't sync the data, which typically, of course, it should be doing. I'm just seeing that now we get the mater for the arrival field as well. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so this is also correct. Is it working now? Like, did I forget to accept the messages? No, that's no difference. Right. So APU is starting up. Let's go back to ground. Close all the doors. Can run the cockpit preparation check. Gear pins and covers remove fuel quantity. Is 247.8 thousand pounds by reference at 1030, indicating 5560 approximately, and that looks good on all three devices. Right, then APU should be available. APU please. Let's get the external power off. Let's see, toggle slide arming. Is the door still open? Shocks and GPU. Oops. That should not be there. Yeah, this is on surveillance. We need to go TA only. Let's go above already to have that one set. And then we will ask for pushback. Now it's finally armed. Okay. Then fuel pumps. Beacons coming on. Let's see, can we actually hear something from the cabin, like some PA announcement going on or something?
Hello, Captain. We are ready.
And then we will read the before start checklist. This needs to be completed. Park and brake is set. Takeoff speeds and thrust are inserted. I'm not going to read them again. Now slides are armed, beacons are on. No wheel steering disconnect memo. Yeah, I believe.
Departure checks completed.
Bypass pin inserted. There we go. Right. Just checking that there's no traffic. I wonder if I should go offline traffic. I think it's a bit more vivid actually switching on offline traffic. Yeah, that's better. Now we have a Virgin.
Release parking brakes, please.
And it's not a whole lot. I was expecting more offline traffic. Oh, there's more loading in. Yeah, the BA A380 and yeah, some other heavies. That's pretty cool. Okay. Park and brake released.
Commencing push. All engines
I'm still on dome light, so that's something we need to switch later on. Alright, we are pushing. So ignition to start. And let's start with the number 2. Not at idle, is it not? Oh yeah, indeed it was not, but now it is.
Close attention to this important safety briefing. Fasten your seatbelt by inserting the metal tip into the buckle. To tighten, pull the strap. To release, lift the top of the buckle. In case of unexpected turbulence, we ask that you keep your seatbelt fastened whenever seated. If the cabin pressure changes, oxygen masks will automatically drop. Pull the mask towards you, place it over your nose and mouth, and secure it with the elastic band. Breathe normally. Be sure to secure your own mask before assisting others. Your life vest is under or beside your seat. If instructed to use it, slip it over your head.
That is nice. Starting number 1. Now for the displays. If I remember, display unit master brightness. That's it. Okay. I remember that there's like some button to manage them all instead of clicking them all independently, because that was a little bit too bright.
Please set parking brakes. Unlocking gear.
One thing I am still wondering about is, doesn't like flap 2 make a lot more sense on this departure? So interestingly, speeds are way higher now, but it's the same flex. Yeah, so this makes no sense whatsoever. Sorry to say, but having much higher speed at flap 2 makes no sense.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear, right is clear.
Ooh, look at this. Are we at 100%? I always fail on understanding how these engines work, but since outside air temperature is 13, what would happen if we go 13? Or like toga, what is toga? It's still 100, so why does flex 26 give us toga? I'm sure you guys know, so let me let me know why that is the case. And what happens if I go like 20? It's still 100. Strange. Really strange. Okay, 2 good engine starts. Starter back to normal. APU bleed off. APU master off. Oh, we could also do actually an APU departure. But no, let's not stress it right now. It will be fine. Auto brake RTO. This is coming up there. Flaps 1. We'll do a flight control check. So full left, full right, full up, full down, rudder full left and full right. That is nice. After start, anti-ice not required. Flight was checked. Ground clearance received. Right. Taxi light. Let's go wing light as well, just for the looks of it. And now we need to dial down this dome light a bit. Yeah, that looks nice and cozy. Let's see, I don't expect we get going on idle power with this heavy weight. No, it does not seem like it. The airport map up. Oh, now I haven't assembled the charts here. For the departure. Do I need to take the right-hand turn here? Yes, I believe I do. Yeah, so right on Alpha. All the way down. Okay. Left is clear, right is clear. These lights look terribly blurry. Is that a Microsoft thing? Oh, what's there? That's something big. That the Virgin Dreamliner, nice. Oh, South African A340, nice. At least what they've modeled very nicely is the heavy weight. I've done some shorter A350 ops before, and there you can really feel that you hardly need any power to get going. But today, with this weight, a lot of power needed. Now let's set the departure. We had the Vasur. Yeah, so out. I haven't even read what it's written here. Climb on runway check to 5.5 miles from Johannesburg. Turn left 311. Intercept Johannesburg radio 351 to Vasur. Pretty straightforward. Alright folks, it's not far anymore. So let's prep a few things. First of all, taxi checklist. Flap setting config 1 plus F is set, and radar needs to come on. Let's go surveillance, TARA above. That's looking good. We can do the TO config. That's normal. Now one thing that I've noticed that's interesting, now we actually have a thrust setting of 98.2, so that came down a little bit. Is it because early on we had the APU running? Is that maybe why? I wonder if I switch off the packs. Ah, now it's back to 100. Interesting. Really interesting. What did we calculate for? I think we calculated the bleed setting on, so we can actually leave it on, and then we should be good with the 98.2. Okay, we will take the left-hand turn onto Juliet. This seems to be like the normal entrance, which is typically used. Approach sector seems to be free as well. So let's put on some lights. Guys, I have to admit I'm rather excited about this departure. Now what's also going to be interesting, let's go terrain, is due to the airport elevation, what we will see for the departure is that the ground speed is going to be noticeably higher compared to the air speed. So that's what makes these departures out of Johannesburg so interesting. Because on ground speed the aircraft's actually super fast when they depart. Right, before takeoff check or lineup checklist, sorry. Kevin is advised takeoff runway 03 left is confirmed. Tax 1 and 2 are on. Engines. Alright, that's it. Performance. Alright guys. Still don't know why the lights are so blurry, but never mind. We will now take the spurt on a 16-hour flight to Atlanta. Alright guys, wish me luck for that departure. That's gonna be interesting. Chrono. Let's go. Let's unleash the full power of the Rolls-Royce engines. Man, flex 26 HS and runway, auto thrust blue. Oh yeah, that's a lot of power. Ha! Never had. Oh no, what is he doing? You actually got to be kidding me. I don't want to see that at all. What the heck? 100 knots. Sorry about that, guys. That typically does not happen. Look at the slow acceleration. Oh, we're gonna use full runway. Bam, look at this. Ground speed 160 right now. Ground speed 172. Rotate. We're airborne. Boy, oh boy. Nice. Look at this, just 10 degrees pitch. We hardly accelerate. Oh. Nice, I love it. Climb power. Let's take some load off these engines. Man, that was the coolest sound I had so far on all my A350 flights. I never had them spool that much. Now back to 77. Wow. Yeah, alright, up to 8,000 already. That was quick. Let's go 20. That is crazy. I mean, this is a... what is that? Like a 4,000 meter runway? Oh, it's longer. It's 4,400 meter runway. And we essentially use all of it. Look at how the aircraft is struggling to climb. That is really something. I mean, imagine doing this departure and then you actually have an engine failure. That would be actually fun to try it just for training purposes. This is really close to the limitations. Look at this, hardly climbing, hardly accelerating. And the A350 is indeed a very performant aircraft. Okay, let's go autopilot. Wing lights off as well. Look at this. Flap up speed just at 210. So let's run into the auto retraction for the flaps. I think that's a better way to play it. Oh, look at this, we are not climbing. We are almost not climbing at all. That's the flaps coming up. What's our clean speed? 232. So yeah, we can clean up right now. All right, guys. I would say that was exciting. That was all I had hoped for, honestly. I was really hoping for a bit of a challenging departure, putting the aircraft close to its limits, and that's exactly what happened. So I am rather happy with this one. Just with this stupid A340 running into us on the departure roll, that was pretty frustrating. But yeah, so that's that. Quickly looking outside, huge Johannesburg area. So we are on our way, 16-hour flight time over to Atlanta, guys. That's quite something. Alright, thank you for joining me on the departure. And yeah, I hope we're gonna have a good landing. It would be frustrating not to have one after 16 hours, but let's see about this later on. And yeah, enjoy the cruise, guys. I will catch you later. Hello folks, welcome back to the flight deck after a whopping 15 hours and 37 minutes into the air. That's pretty crazy. You know what, guys, I will talk about the cruise in just a second. I've just that very second pulled up the ATIS again. I swear to you, I've checked it a few minutes ago. It was saying landing on 09 right would work. Now they have switched around apparently. So now we need to quickly change everything for a 27 left landing, and then we can vector it ourselves. That will make it a bit easier. So let's do some work here together. Let's go on to 27 left ILS, and then just seeing if there's a transition which we need to consider. Oh yeah, silver, that should work. Insert, and then now we need to be flying a little bit manual here. Yeah, so I think we will essentially do a 180 on heading 09 at least. So what are we? Are we on heading? Yes, we are. Sorry, 09. Or let's go 100. And let's go down to 7,000 for now. Open descent. Yeah, also speed dropping to 50 now. Landing lights coming on. Sorry, that's a bit of a hurry now, but honestly, it just changed seconds ago. I hope that offline traffic is playing along on this one. I've been considering to go online once again, but it should now pull back to 250 quite quickly. We are on open descent. Yeah, also we need to talk a little bit of, about the fly-by-wire, about the auto flight of this aircraft. I am not entirely happy with this, to be very honest with you guys. Anyhow, before we get there, now let's set up the BTV as well. So, going to landing performance. Now we just need to sync to 27 left, compute. Yeah, because there's no wind at all. 0 at 0. And then for the BTV, let's go back into plan mode, zoom. Okay, so 27 left is selected, and then we have the wet line, so November 2. That's behind the wet line. And that's what we will use as an exit then. Set BTV arm. BTV is armed. Sweet, okay. but yeah, we're getting there. In fact, we can slow down a bit further even. Speed limit exceed, yes, I know. Performance, approach, clean speed 201. So let's go 210. Alright, so yeah, about the cruise. Obviously, very long cruise, but well, that was fun. Having the sunrise over the Atlantic, and yeah, I still love to think back to this this crazy departure, heavyweight departure. That was really, to be honest, it even surprised me a little bit how much the A350 was struggling on this departure. I was expecting that the A350, being a very performed aircraft, actually does a little bit better than that. But yeah, then I had one crash, sim crash, just a few minutes after departure actually, but luckily iniBuilds have implemented a pretty sweet autosave system which works fantastically well, so I was able to very quickly load back into the last autosave. That saved me a lot of headaches, and yeah, so that's on the cruise. Yeah, other than that, I was fairly happy with it, to be honest. Yeah, apart from the how do you call it, like auto flight or the flight indications as well. So sometimes, for example, you see the speed bug when it's on managed mode. You can see it jumping up and down a couple of knots, and that's something very unrealistic. And there's like these small little bits and pieces which I'm not a huge fan of. I mean, they don't disturb a whole lot, so you can easily get this aircraft from A to B. But still, it's not the perfect, flawless experience one would hope for. That I turned way too much. Wait, what am I doing here? This turns crazily quick compared to what I'm used from other aircraft. So what do we need? We have a final approach course of 275, so let's go heading 300. And now I think we're gonna have a very long final approach, but that's okay. Speed 210 also, see, that's also something which I'm quite sure that's not correct. So here you have a clean speed indication 201. Here you have green dot at like 180 something. So I mean, I'm not a real pilot, right? But isn't that supposed to be at the same spot at least? It's like these small bits and pieces which sometimes throw me off. But yeah, other than that, fairly nice experience. On the checklists, let's see. So these are not completed because of the sim crash earlier on, but let's continue with the landing checklist. Of course, we don't need yet, but approach checklist is completed. Quite low now as well, but yeah, so that's a huge final. That's like a 30-mile final we are on right now, but that's okay. Quite sure we don't need the speed brakes anymore, so they can go to arm, and then yeah, just need to cruise it in there. Hoping for AI traffic to play along, of course. Hoping the runway direction is not changing once more. But yeah, what I do like, I don't see a low 185. Yeah, that's correct, but I don't see local. Ah, there it is. I was just about to dial direct silver, but now we have the localizer, so that should work. Yeah, but I do like this aircraft in a way that they have set up so many things to play around with during flight. Of course, you have the full EFB with the en route map, which is pretty cool. You can do performance calculations, although we know from the departure that they are not quite perfect. We have a weather radar, terrain radar, obviously. Then you have the like the checklist. Where is it in here? Back to FMS. Yeah. Then you have all the ATC communication as well. You can get. Why did it not select now? Wait, I've been there earlier. Why does it not work? never mind. Yeah, you have the ATC menu where you can like CPDLC integration and that kind of stuff. So lots and lots of really good features that also somewhat keep you entertained during a very long flight like this one. Right, 22 miles to go, guys. That's a rather long final. But this gives us some time to also set up the charts on here. So let's go to Atlanta. Approach. So we will now do the ILS 27 left. Which is this one. So in case of a missed approach, climb to 1,500, then climb left, turn to 4,000. Heading 265 and then into duty and hold there. Alright. This one is, I need to update 1199, it's not the barrow. Also, why is this data now delete? I'm quite sure I've set it up before. But never mind. Outside air temperature is 24. QNH 3015 and barrow 1199. Oh yeah, there's the glide slope coming, so let's go flap 1. Speed 180, approach mode. Land 3 single. Alright, so this is set up. Final approach speed 144. So I guess we could even go config 3, but never mind. Yeah, still 30,000 pounds of fuel on board. That's obviously quite a lot, but given that's such a long flight, I think it's especially the contingency fuel which sums up a lot. So that's why we have quite a lot on board. Approach phase we can also activate. Okay, that's the glide slope star. Go around altitude 4000 is set. Shot already pinned. Approach departure. Airports. I mean, we're gonna have it on the maps. We're gonna take it to the Foxtrot stance. Gates. Yeah. So Foxtrot stance, that will do for us. Right. It's gonna be a big taxi. Because what they usually do, when we look at the charts, where's my airport map? There we go. Yeah, so we are vacating November 2, and then they take they stay on this course on November, cross via Papa, and then taxi all the way back on, I don't know, probably Lima or something, to the Foxtrot. So that's going to be a bit of a taxi. And yeah, so on this arrival, we're going to have the default Microsoft Flight Sim Atlanta scenery. I have the Imagine Sim Atlanta for Microsoft 2020, and I have installed it. It's not officially compatible with the 2024 sim. Nevertheless, I went ahead and installed it and tested it, and I decided that it's actually not working perfectly well in the new sim. And then I tried the default one, which is a handcrafted one, that actually looks quite nice. So yeah, we're gonna have the default scenery, but it looks very, very decent in my opinion. Alright guys, I think it's about time to go gear down. Let's do some lights, taxi lights, no mobiles. I need to start my flight recorder, of course. Let's go flaps 3. We can go back to manage speed. Cabin's not ready. Holy cow, that's bad. Let's give them a call. And flaps full. Low hanging clouds. Nice, not too bad. Okay, let's ignore the cabin. Not gonna wait for that. Landing checklist. Landing, no blue. Checklist complete. Right.
1000.
Let's do some flying then, shall we? Get my position. So, looks rather empty down there. Yeah, and also on the manual flight, I'm not yet a huge fan of this aircraft. It feels a bit indirect.
500.
And what I at least experienced from other Airbuses is that the inputs are much
400.
more direct and less laggy.
300. 100 above.
So for a
200.
good one, guys. A little bit of a
Minimum.
tailwind. Continue.
100. 90. 80. 70. 60. 50. 40. 30. 20.
Retard.
10.
Okay, flare.
5.
Come on, get down there. There we go. Reverse green. Decel. And BTV should be kicking in about now. Here we go. Right forward. Manual braking. Nice. Yeah, see that? AI traffic taxing out to the other direction, and that makes a whole lot of sense. I am not sure why the ATIS, and that's a real world ATIS by the way, is aiming for this direction. So I think just in order to not get too close to AI traffic, I will actually take a right hand turn on November, although this is, I believe, slightly unrealistic, but I think it's the better choice for now. Quick cleanup. Like that. Landing lights. Strobes. Okay. We will leave it here. GSX is not entirely correct in that regard. Right, parking brake. We have shut down engine number 2 during taxi already. Shutting down number 1 as well. A pure bleed is coming on. And then we have the fuel pumps off. We have the beacons off. Seat belts off. And that should be it, I believe. Let's see. Checklist. Parking. Parking brake set. Engine off. Wing lights off as well. Fuel pumps are off. Checklist complete. Also these fellas we can turn off. Right. Then let's ask for deboarding.
Boarding requested.
I'm hoping that works. Also let's go into the menu. Ground. GPU. They are not armed anymore. I haven't checked after the crash, so that's probably why. And rest, I believe, should be happening automatically, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, folks, so here we are. Welcome to Atlanta. Apparently, AI traffic has decided that the international terminal shall now be a cargo apron. So we are wedged between two Asiana Cargo 747 and some more cargos over there. So I don't know why AI traffic is doing that, but never mind. We have successfully completed a 16-hour flight. That was quite cool. That was honestly very, very cool, especially the departure in a heavy A350. That's something very special. It always is to keep or to get an aircraft close to its performance limitations. And I will for sure try, just for training purposes, I will do the same departure again, and I will do an engine out procedure, see what happens. Maybe I will even do a video about it. That will also be kind of interesting, I believe. Alright guys, so that's it. Thank you so much for tuning in, and yeah, stay tuned, and I will catch you on the next one. Take care everyone, bye bye.